Hi again. How are we? Are we good? Everyone's A-okay? Okay, so today is a little bit of an admin day because we have to do a couple things before we do a couple other things, okay? So next week, we've got French knot day. We've got the tassel stitch day, so that's 2 days. We need at least a day or maybe 2 to fill in this big flower, but we're going to start it tomorrow. So today is like an admin day. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up ourselves today for next week. So we need to fill in the leaves and stem of this. We need to fill in the leaves and stem of this. And we need to fill in the leaves and stem of this. So we have 3 areas to do. The reason I'm doing it on Friday because tomorrow we're going to do some of the flower, and then Sunday you have the whole day to finish the leaves and stems of these 3 things and then do the flower. Okay? And then we'll do the whole day Monday or Tuesday for this little guy. Then Wednesday's details. And then Thursday we're finishing it all up. So it's super exciting. I mean, I'm super excited because I feel like it's all coming together. Okay, so today is a bit of a choose your own adventure because we've done a lot of stitches that are for stems and leaves. So I'm going to show you the split stitch for stem and leaves to show you kind of how it looks. You can also mix and match some of the stitches that we've already learned, meaning you could use like the chain stitch for a stem, and then the lazy daisy for the leaves if you want. You can do some satin stitch for some nice smooth leaves if you want them to be like that. So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure today. So let's get started. Ooh, I need my brick. Oh. Okay, now let's get started. All right, so I'm going to start with the one at the bottom, this one down here. And I'm going to do the split stitch for the leaves and the stem. So let's see how that looks. And I think I'm going to use this yellowy color, Star 262. It's like a yellowy green. So if you look at it next to this one, it's like a bit more yellow, if you know what I mean. Oh, let's see if I have some from the other day. I do. Perfect. So I told you before, I'm keeping this jar of all my scraps, and then I can always just go back and have a little root around for what I'm looking for. So this is 3 strands, which is perfect. Okay, so split stitch, if you remember, you come up from the bottom. We only really did it on this bottom here, and then for the handle and for the top. So you're gonna make your stitch. Yeah, and you can either go forward and down into your stitch like this, or you can come up through the middle of your stitch. I should probably show it that way too, huh? So like this. And you go forward. Now you can do split stitch in 2 rows next to each other to make it look a little bit wider of a line, because obviously the 3 strands is going to be quite a thin line, or you can leave it thin. Up to you. I'm not gonna lie though, I love the choose your own adventure kind of stitch days because I feel like people, they pick the stitches that they really like. And it's so interesting to see what people pick. And it's great practice for stitches that we've already learned. Ow, ow. So for this top, I'm just gonna do a couple straight stitches because we're gonna fill in whipped till death. I do love a whipped back stitch. It looks so nice. And such like a nice, like solid line, you know? So I love that. And part of this is going to be covered up anyways by the flower. So it's okay if you don't make them like exactly how they're meant to be or anything like that. I might make this another row next to it. Now, initially, I had some thread painting in this pattern, but people always hate it. And I didn't actually plan for the threads that I got to have thread painting in it because I changed it. And now I'm thinking it might be quite fun. Maybe I'll do a separate like little video and pattern on like something that's thread painted, and then we can like learn to do that together. It's like it is good fun. What would we paint? So in this pattern, or like in a new pattern? Initially, we were going to do the big one. The big flower was going to be thread painting. But like I said, I didn't order the colors for it because I changed it right after I ordered the colors, you know? Yeah, initially it was going to be the big flower. But yeah, like I said, I changed it before I ordered the colors, so I don't have the right colors for it. I've never done thread painting. It is good, but it's a little bit frustrating because, yay! Jen says, I got so much better at thread painting for the Fox Stitchalong. I kind of love it now. Jamie T says, I've never gotten to that point in previous patterns. Did you just give up? Are you like, nope, I'm done? And that's okay, you know, if you're like, not for me. But it can definitely be frustrating when you first start because you have to put in some color in order to blend the colors. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people, they want like the roadmap to be instantaneous, you know, like I can clearly see it happening, but actually it has to look a lot worse before it starts to look better. Kind of like when you start organizing your room and halfway you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Why did I do this? This looks awful. And like everything's out and everything's like everywhere and you're like, this is a bad idea. But then when it's done, you're like, wow, that was totally worth it. I can totally see what, you know, like why I started this. Yeah, that was going to be my next point. Jen says it's fun to challenge yourself and it's honestly more forgiving than other stitches. Yeah, so like if you make a mistake, you can just stitch right over it. So it's not like, you know, other stitches where you're a bit like, if you make a mistake, you can kind of see it. Okay, almost done with this one. I totally agree. It is fun to challenge yourself. But I also see how it could be a little bit like intimidating, you know? You're like, oh man. Miriam says, yes, it took some time with the fox, but the end result is so gorgeous. I'm gonna run out of thread, I think. Especially if I want to have 2 rows of this. Oh man. Thread saving mode activated. I've got a small piece next to me, so hopefully I can do that for that and then be done. Oh my goodness. Also, there's only 3 of the Bloom Wildly kits left. So if you wanted a kit, there's only 3 left. I probably won't be able to restock them because of coronavirus, and getting threads is a little bit difficult, which is why some of the other kits in the shop are not restocked either. They're just sold out. Okay, so I've got this tiny little piece of thread I'm going to try and finish that 1 leaf with. And then we'll move on to the next part. Love watching, can't wait to catch up. You've got your little puppy. Okay. Gosh, I have loads of thread left. He's great, just need to wait till he's sleeping. Yeah, definitely. They're so inquisitive, aren't they, puppies? They're like, what are you doing over there? What are you doing? Okay, so let's pick another color of green. I'm going to do the ones for the fly stitch, for the tassel stitch at the top next. The very top here, because we're going to do those soon. Whereas these ones here I can always do on catch-up day Monday or Sunday, because we already kind of know, we already have that done. So let's do this part. And let's pick a nice green to go up there. It's like kind of dark up there, so we should probably like lighten it up a bit. Or this one. That one's that there, so let's do or that one again. Oh, that's too short. I'm watching too. I can't wait to start this evening. Supposed to be working. Oh, naughty. I feel like I'm missing a stitch. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm missing a stitch that I normally teach, but I just keep checking my paper, and I've got a lot of stitches, except like the long and short stitch we can't use for stems, so that's nothing. Split stitch we've already done, whipped back stitch we've done, stem stitch we've done, back stitch we've done, brick stitch we've done, satin stitch, buttonhole. You know, when you're just like, I just feel like I'm missing something. Chain stitch we've done. You know, when you just feel like, is there something I'm missing here? Oh, couching. We didn't do any couching yet. Shall we do some couching? I think that's a good idea. Okay. Gotta go clean my car whilst there's space on the drive for my car. I totally understand that. Okay, so the only thing I think we haven't done is couching, really. Nap time. Okay, so I'm gonna do some little couched ones here like this. And with couching, basically you're laying one straight stitch and then you're using another thread to tack it down every so often. You can do alternating colors, meaning that you can have, yes, I have no idea what that is. So meaning that you can have one color for the main thread that's going to become your stem. And then you can have a different color for the little stitches that tack it down. Or you can have the same color for both. It does not matter. For this though, I'm gonna use 6 strands for the main stem so that it stands out. And I think I'm gonna change the color because this is a little bit too light for what I want. I'll do that, this one. Yeah, couching is fun. It's a little fiddly if you want to do like super curvy lines. But I like it. It's good fun. Okay, so I'm going to use all 6 strands for the stem. And then I'm probably going to use, let's use this lighter color to tack it down because it's almost the same. Or we could do a darker color and that could be fun. And then you could see it like really easy. Oh, there's too many suggestions. There's too many things that we could do. I'll just use the same color. And I'm going to use 2 strands for the tacking. So you can use all 6 and all 6 if you want, but the tacking stitches will be more visible. Or you can use less strands if you want the tacking stitches to be less visible. Okay, so I've got that there. So what we're gonna do is put a little, I knew there was something. Let's tighten that because we need it to be a little bit tight. Okay, so we're gonna put a little knot in the back. And we'll put our thread up where we want it to go. Now, some people will just make the straight stitch and leave it, and some people will take it off their needle and kind of couch as they go, especially if you have a curved line, meaning something like this. You can't just put, because it's curved, you can't just put it up here and down here, you know? Because if it's curved, that would make a straight line, right? So some people will kind of lay it down and tack it down as they go. So boom, 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 you know, boom, 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 and then put it down where they need. But because we have such a short little area here, we can just put it down. And just don't, I'm gonna put it up like way up here because I want these here to cover it. Yeah. So now we've got our 2 stitches, 2 strands, I mean, for the tacking stitches. Say that fast. Two strands for tacking stitches. I can't believe I forgot about couching. Probably because we don't really use it that much. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put a small stitch every so often to just hold this into place. Now, the main reason for this, let's not get this one involved. Put it up there. Okay, so the main reason for this is because if you have long stitches like this, they're very easy to move around. Yeah? But all this is doing is just tacking it into place so it doesn't move. So you're making small stitches, one on either side, up and then down, to just hold it into place. And it's gonna hold it down like that. And these can be really close, or they can be about every centimeter, or they can be a little bit farther away. I'm sure there's like an actual, you know, like rule as to like how far they should be. But I just like to keep a measurement, and then like a back stitch, like many other stitches, just try and keep that same measurement up. So I wouldn't put one here because that's too close, unless that's the pattern that you want to do. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I would try and keep the same length. Do you have plans to stem the 2 flowers without stems? If not, I might try twisted couch for the big one. Stem the 2 flowers without stems. You can add that if you want to, but they're just, the way the pattern is the way the pattern is. We're not going to be drawing on this one at all. Does that help? Okay, so I can fit 3 there. And I'm just going to do 1 more at the very end to keep up that same look. Okay, and then now I can do a knot on both of these on the back, or we can couch the petals as well. Okay. But I like using the couching for like the straight ones, and then you can add some jazz to there if you want. So now you can take these and tie a knot in them because they're all done. And that's basically what couching is. So couching was used as like a border or an outline. It's great for lettering if you want to do lettering with it. I didn't tie those very tight. Oops. And that's what it looks like. So let's do the same for this one, and then we'll do the leaves after. So some people really like the look of this, and other people are not happy with it. It just depends on what you like. And like I said earlier, you can do different colors for these little tacking stitches if you want to kind of like draw attention to them, or you could use the same color to like hide them a little bit. So I've got 6 strands here, and then I'm doing my tacking with 2 strands. You could even do the tacking with 1 strand, or you can do the tacking with all 6 strands. I think it depends on what you like, what you want. Okay, so this one has a slight curve to it. Let's see if I can get my arm in here without giving you guys a whiplash. It's really raining. I hope that David and Jesse come home soon because they're going to be soaking wet. And I'm just letting the thread kind of bend a little bit as I'm going around. And again, I'm going to let this go all the way up into the flower because I want the stem to look like it's coming from underneath the flower, if that makes sense. Okay, so now I can make a knot in both of these. Carry on my way, doing the leaves. Now you can couch the leaves if you want to. Obviously that tight turn might be a little tricky. Should be fine. Just loosen that so I can actually put it through. Or you could just do some nice straight stitches or a detached chain stitch. Up to you. Let's do a detached chain stitch. Oh, there's none on the other side. Okay, we can just hop over here then. There we go. Now keep this color because we're going to need it. We're going to need it when we do the flowers for this. Okay, so we're gonna need them to cover this top up. All right, so I'll zoom out. You can see what we've done today. I'm gonna save the middle ones for Sunday catch-up day, unless I come up with like a super cool new fun stitch for the leaves, but I feel like we've done a lot of them already, you know? For leaves. There we go. So we've got our split stitch, and then I just did some straight stitches to fill in the leaves. Here we did couching, and we did detached chain stitch. Look at it coming together though. It's gonna look so good. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's Choose Your Own Adventure lesson. I can't wait to see what you chose. What are your favorite stitches you've done so far? How you filled them in? And yeah, I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye.